Hi everyone, my name is Moni.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we are going to be discussing our top 5 most anticipated Essen Spiel Digital releases.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
right.
did it. You pulled it off. Yeah, Essen Spiel, normally, under normal circumstances, is one of the world's biggest, it is the world's biggest
I think so.
live conventions. And that's where a lot of the games for the upcoming year or in the current year come out. And so this weekend, the 24th, begins Essen Spiel, the digital version.
Yeah, so it's obviously kind of a weird year for board game releases. It's hard to follow which board games are coming out when. So our choices are all based off of the current BGG list that's on there right now. That is upcoming releases in general. And so I believe there's about 400
Just
games?
shy of 500.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, for this year, and that's obviously a digital only convention, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. So there
bit.
are quite a bit of titles releasing.
Yeah, I'm assuming that there's a lot of companies withholding games for next year when it can be out in person. But for the inability to gather and put together a big con, to have 500 games on that list is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So today we are going to discuss our top 5. So we're doing 5 each for a total of 10. All of the titles that we are discussing are unique. We didn't have any overlap. And so we're just going to get right into it. Do you want to go first for me?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
So I did start with an honorable mention because obviously we covered some of the games that are coming out. And so we kind of felt it was a little bit unfair to include them in our list. And so my honorable mention is a game that we covered already. It's designed by designer Ryan Courtney, who designed Pipeline, and it's published by Capstone Games. And it's a game called Curious Cargo. So that is a game that I really did enjoy. I really, really, really liked that, how crunchy that game is. But like I said, we already covered it. We know how it plays. We have access to it. So we didn't make the actual list, but it's still a very good game that we recommend checking out.
If you guys are interested in that game, we will leave a link right over here so you guys can click it and take a look at it.
Do you have an honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention.
Which is?
The honorable mention, so this is like a top 6 really for each of us, but the honorable mention for me is a game called Wild Cards. It is a card game, and it is by a company called Board Game Circus. Now, it's an honorable mention because it plays 3 to 5 players. It's an auction bidding game, and the reason why this particular one catches my eye is because 2 years ago when we were at Essen, this same company came out with a card game called Q-Birds. And Q-Birds was a really, really big surprise for me.
It was love at first sight.
It was love at first sight for me. It's this game where you have these cube-shaped art style birds.
They're really cute.
And it's a set collection game that I really, really enjoyed the first time I played it.
Yeah, it's definitely more like a filler. It's a very light game, hand management, but it's super cute. So I agree with that choice.
So the only reason why this is a honorable mention is because I know nothing about the game, but all I know is it has the same art style as the game that I did like, and it's a bluffing bidding game. So it's probably different mechanics. And I'm very interested in it.
Yeah. So you're right. That was more like your number 6. But
Number 6.
We'll let it slide. Okay. So my number 5. This is to start the true list. My number 5 is a sequel to a game that we both really love, and it's called Schotten Totten 2. This is a game that was originally designed by Rainer Knizia in 1999. It was rethemed into Battle Line a year later, and then this year they're finally having a sequel. And so I actually have it. I was prepared. So this is the original game, and we bring this everywhere. So the box is you can't really tell, but if you look at it closely, the box is a little bit battered because we love this game so much. It is a game that's been published by Aiello, and the way that it works is you have a hand of cards. There are several stones in front of you, and you're just trying to win these stones by playing poker hands, 3-card poker hands.
3-card poker hands.
And you're just going back and forth. It's a 2-player only game, so it's very much so duel style. But it's really fun. We've had so many good experiences with that game. And the only thing I know about the sequel is that it's still a 2-player only game. It uses the same kind of poker hand mechanics. But the difference is one person is the aggressor and the other is the defender.
Okay.
And so the defender is trying to defend their walls, I suppose.
So it's got a little asymmetric?
I guess so. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. But it's exciting because we really, really love that game.
And that is the thing about all these games we're talking about. A lot of these are, because these are the releases, there's not much information out there on them. So
it's true.
A lot of it is just speculation for us.
And that's how these lists always go. But yes, that is my number 5. And you?
Okay, number 5 for me, this is a Martin Wallace game. So Martin Wallace, if you're not familiar with him, has done a lot of really popular industrial games. I would say Brass is probably his most famous one. It's in the top 10 on BGG. And so this one is a new one coming out from Cosmos Games. It plays 2 to 4 players, and it's called Anno 1800. And this one is based off of I guess a popular PC game. I know nothing about this PC game, but I do know that it is a Euro crunchy economic industrialization game. And so when I hear that, I love Brass. I love Martin Wallace designs, so it's got my interest.
That is so right down your alley. Yeah. All the words that you just listed.
And I am pretty intrigued because it's from Cosmos, and typically most of the experiences I've had with Cosmos games are the smaller 30 to 45 minute 2-player only games. So this one is, I do want to see what they're going to be publishing.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as well. All right, so that was our number 5. So we are chugging along here. So my number 4 is a game that is published by Osprey Games. And it's called Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road.
Merv.
So, yeah, Merv.
Merv. Okay.
This is a game for 1 to 4 players, and it was designed by Fabio Lopiano. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly.
Yeah.
But this designer also designed Kalimala and Ragusa. We have not played Ragusa, but Kalimala is a game that is in our collection that we both really enjoy. It was a game that we also demoed for the first time at one of the previous Essen Spiel conventions that we went to, and Naveen especially fell in love like immediately when we played it.
True dry Euro.
Yeah.
But if you love mechanisms and you like just good gameplay, Kalimala is a fantastic one.
It's probably the driest Euro that I really, really like. Yeah.
Including the box. You should take a look at that box. Yes.
It's a fun one.
It is.
And so so this is the same designer. Osprey Games is the publisher who also published titles like The King is Dead. They did Cryptid, amongst other games. But those are the 2 games that we both really, really enjoy from them. And so we're really looking forward to see what this game brings. The art style is by Ian O'Toole. So if you look up the game on BGG, or if you look at the box or any of the components, it is gorgeous, like beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and the only thing really I know about it is that it is an economic game based off of the Silk Road. I've been told that it's like medium, but it sounds like it's still going to be crunchy in decision making in terms of the economic aspect.
If you look at the pictures, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks really good. So I am looking forward to that. That is Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road. Okay,
my number 4 is an interesting one. I don't know if people are going to be really into this one, but it is Florenza 10th Anniversary Edition. So this game has now gotten its 3rd edition. Technically, that's what this is. First came out in 2010. Then they made a 2nd edition, which tweaked a bunch of rules and kind of improved on the game in 2014. And I'll be honest, I've never played either one of those 2. But it's one of those games that has that dry Euro box with the dry Euro mechanisms. And it just looks very, very interesting. And I think this is the edition that I will finally get to play. And finally play. It plays 1 to 5 players.
That is a bold statement, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It is published by Placentia Games. And I do apologize if I mess up on these designers' names, but it's Stefano Groppi and P.S. Martinson. But it's supposed to be a heavy worker placement Euro game where you are the head of a family in the Renaissance. And you are trying to garner the most influence with the artists of the time.
Ah, of course.
So it is true Euro in and out. But it's interesting to me because it is a very heavy game. It has a 4 out of 5 on the BGG heaviness rating.
Oh, wow.
So we love heavy games. Yeah. So I want to see what these mechanisms do that put together a good game. Cool. And that is Florenza X, aka the Anniversary Edition.
All right, so my number 3 is a filler game because we both really enjoy heavy strategy games, but we also have a very special place in our hearts for fillers. And so we did a top 10 fillers video with Rahdo from Rahdo Runs Through. And if you are interested in checking that out, we will link it down below. But this game is one of the games that was on his list, and it's a game called Cafe. And so Cafe is by dual designers Costa and Rola. And I believe they are Portuguese designers.
Portuguese, yeah.
It's a game that is for 1 to 4 players. It's published by Pythagoras and Maldito Games. And the only thing really I know about it is it's about coffee roasting.
Yes.
So it has a beautiful box artwork. And I even read through a little bit of the rules, and the graphic design, even on the rules page, looks beautiful. So the presentation looks like they did a really good job.
Very good job. Yeah, the box art almost has like almost has like this Picasso look to it.
It's like a deco,
Deco Picasso kind of look. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's really cool. The other thing I know about it is that it has to do with some kind of like overlapping of cards. And so whatever symbols are still revealed once you've overlapped them are kind of like actions you get to take. That's what I gather from the BGG page.
Yeah, from what I understand, you have a card, and there's 6 squares on the card, and each square has a different action type. And so on your turn, you draw a card, and that new card will also have 6 different action types, and then you're going to have to transpose it over your existing cards, blocking some of the actions, and then now exposing new actions. And I guess it's supposed to be pretty interesting. You're basically running a little coffee roasting company. Yeah.
And I've heard from multiple people who have already gotten to play it that they've all loved it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Hopefully we can show it off on our channel. And that is Cafe by Costa and Rolla. And your number, what is this, number 3?
This is number 3, yeah. So my number 3, this is an Alexander Pfister release. So we are in the middle of our Pfister series on our channel, and this is another new one that he's doing. It's called Monster Expedition. So the name doesn't have the thematic kind of jump out towards me, but it's a 1 to 4 player game published by Amigo, and it takes place, I guess, in the universe of a game that came out last year called Carnival of Monsters. That was a card drafting game. I was very, very surprised by that one.
That's by Richard Garfield.
Richard Garfield, yeah. So if you know Richard Garfield, you know he has good designs. Knowing that this is in the same universe, it's done by the same publisher and by, of course, Alexander Pfister. This is a dice rolling game, so this is a dice chucking game. So I'm very interested to see what Pfister does with a dice game, a pure dice game. So
yeah, that's true.
And so that's my number 3. That is Monster Expedition by Alexander Pfister.
All right, so we are on our last 2 of our list each. And so we're kind of getting into the heavy hitters. My number 2 is a game by Stefan Feld. This is his big game, big release of the year, and it is called Bonfire. You may have already heard of it because I've been seeing it everywhere. It's a game for 1 to 4 players. It's being published by Pegasus Spiele and Hall Games. And I've heard that it is one of his heaviest games yet.
That's what we were told.
That's what we were told. We were also told that it kind of has odes to some of his older titles, like it has similarities to Bora Bora, which is a game that we actually played on our channel a year ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
And that you really loved, but I felt was pretty tight. And so if it has that kind of like tightness to it, then it's going to be an interesting design to check out. I don't know much else about it. Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules has put out a video for Bonfire, so if you're interested in learning more, you can head over to his page and check out his video. But all I know is there's a big bonfire in the middle of the board, right?
I think there's something about like you are some sort of mythical creatures or something, and like the fire has been extinguished in your territory, and you're trying to appease the gods to get fire to return. That's the general theme. How the mechanisms work, I have no idea.
But very heavy, very tight game apparently, and so I am super excited to see how this game plays. And that is Bonfire by Stefan Feld. Your number 2?
Okay, my number 2, this is one that the box art, right when I was just scrolling through the page, the box art was like, whoa, what the heck is that? It looks almost like a stained glass window or something. It is called The Red Cathedral.
Ah, yes.
And this is a 1 to 4 player game by Devere Games. This game has the most thumbs on the list. So if you can filter by the thumbs, and this one has the most. So that instantly kind of drew me in. It's a rondel style dice game in which the dice you select is the action you take, and then the amount of pips on that dice is how far you're going to move the die to take that action.
Right. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's a circle, and there
That's
are
a
actions
rondel.
all around the rondel, and there's one die placed all around it. And when you choose a die, you're going to move it over the number of spaces as pips.
Yep.
And then whichever spot it lands on, however many dice are there after you move it, is how many times you get to take that action.
It's like a multiplier as to how many times you take the action.
Yeah.
And so the ultimate theme, it's called the Red Cathedral because you are competing craftsmen or builders that are trying to race to build this cathedral. You all build it together, but only one of you can win the game. And so you are trying to please Ivan the Terrible, and whoever wins pleases Ivan. So that's the Red Cathedral by Divier Games.
All right, so here we are at our number 1. That was really fast, right? Time flies when you talk about board games. And so for my number 1, this is the second title on our cumulative list by Alexander Pfister. And it probably caught my attention more so because we're in the middle of our Alexander Pfister series, and we're really enjoying going through his game designs. And so this is another dual designer game by Alexander Pfister and Arno Steinwender called Cloud Age. It's a game for 1 to 4 players, and it's going to be published by Capstone Games. It sounds like it's going to be a really interesting experience, no matter what, because the theme is dystopian. This is a very different theme from anything that we've ever really seen out of Alexander Pfister's designs. There's a sleeving mechanism to it. I believe it's an economic game.
I think it's like a resource management game. This game is kind of shrouded in mystery as of right now.
Yes, it is.
From what I read on BGG, I guess there's this cloud society. It's a secret society that basically scorched the earth, and they dried up all the resources, and now everybody lives up in the clouds. And you are, I guess, living in this cloud society, trying to find different resources to survive. So it's, that's pretty much all we know about it.
It sounds really interesting.
It does sound pretty interesting. So I think we're both curious as to see how much theme versus mechanisms are there, or is there a perfect marriage, or is it just kind of a background so you can have these awesome mechanisms? So we don't know. So that's what's intriguing about it. Yeah,
we've been very intrigued, especially coming from his more heavier designs as of late, to see kind of what he comes up with next. And so this is the next. So that is Cloud Age. And I also want to just mention, all of the games on my list, besides the two-player only games, have a solo mode, which is really, really cool to see, especially during this time where a lot of people are at home either playing at 2 or doing solo gaming because we can't get together. And also Capstone Games is a publisher that we've both pretty much been watching and really looking forward to their newest releases, because they release these heavy, crunchy games that are really right down our alley.
Yeah, definitely over the past 2 years, everything that's come out we've really enjoyed.
Yeah, a lot of it. So Cloud Age is both a fantastic designer and a fantastic publisher, and so the two together make for an exciting release. So that is Cloud Age by Alexander Pfister and Arno Steinwender. And finally, for your number 1?
My number 1, it's from another company that I really enjoy their games. It's from CGE, and it's a 1 to 4 player game. It's a worker placement and deck building game. And normally I don't like deck building games, so I heard this one's a little bit unique, and it's called The Lost Ruins of Arnak. And this one is apparently, like I said, a worker placement Euro game with deck building elements where you have discovered this new land and you're trying to understand the terrain and gain resources and basically become explorers of this new land, mysterious land. So I don't know much about it. I know there is some content out there.
Board Game Ramblings. They are a couple who also does 2-player playthroughs. They have a video on it if you're interested in checking it out. We can link them down below. But yeah, I agree. That is an interesting one that's kind of on our radar. It doesn't sound like anything we really played before. And the mechanics together.
Deck building,
worker I'm not quite sure. Yeah. That'd be an interesting one to try.
Yeah, I heard the deck building is not your traditional deck building.
Which is good for you.
Which is good for me, yeah. So anytime there's a deck building game that does deck building different than what true deck building is, I'm more intrigued. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yep. And so that is my number 1, or one of our top ones for Essen Spiel Digital, The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
And another one that has a solo mode.
Yes,
right?
That's right. 1 to 4 players and a solo mode.
So there you go. That is our top 5 most anticipated games that are releasing just now, I suppose, within the next couple months. And so this year they are doing Essen Spiel Digital. It is being held this weekend. They've been working really hard to put together this online convention. So if you're interested in hearing more about any of these titles, as well as the other titles that are on the preview list, we recommend checking out some of the streams that are going to be going on. Us personally, we are going to be streaming one game for Grill Games on Saturday morning called Hibachi, and that's going to be on our channel. And we are also streaming for Haba a version of Fiver Finden, the puzzle version of Fiver Finden, and that will be on the Haba channel at around 4 p.m. PST on Saturday as well. Yep. In addition, we're also going to be doing our noon stream on Friday. And so we're going to be playing Silver Dagger, which is the newest in the Silver series, releasing also...
the 4th title in that series.
By Bezier Games. Yep. And we're also going to be playing Bargain Quest, which is not a new release, but it's still a fun one to check out. So that will be happening on Friday.
And if there are any other games that we didn't mention in this list that you guys were interested in, please let us know in the comments below. That way we can kind of do more research on them and just get more accustomed to these games. There's 500 coming out this year, and there's a lot to be researched.
Yeah, there are a lot of games that are probably not on our radar, so it would be nice to hear what you guys are most excited about as well.
But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.